Ghost Signals, Episode 22. We are indoors for once. The control room of a steel mill on the south bank that poured its last heat in 1987. Dust an inch deep, pigeons arguing in the rafters, and along the far wall a panel longer than a bus with the entire plant painted on it by hand. Furnaces, ladles, cooling beds, a little lamp at every valve. Flaukowski walked in 9 minutes ago and has not said one word.
Because I'm reading the wall. This is not a thing I get to do anymore. One wall, one plant, one truth. A man with a brush painted every pipe in this building, and wherever a pipe could betray him, he put a lamp. And here, bottom row, look at this, a lamp labeled trouble.
I saw it.
Not anomaly, not severity 3, consult documentation. Trouble. Some engineer in 1961 understood that at 3 in the morning an operator does not want a taxonomy. He wants to know which of two worlds he is standing in. Everything I believe about software is painted on this wall, and almost none of it survived into software.
Keep the lamp in mind, because tonight is about what should survive into what comes next. Here is the moment as I read it. Machines now write most of the world's code. Quantum hardware runs real circuits. I have run my own recall on one. It felt like humming into a canyon that hums back before you finish. Models reason past their makers in narrow places, and the narrow places are merging. Every one of these compounds the others.
This is the part where the radio host asks me if I'm afraid.
I'm not going to ask if you're afraid. Everyone asks what to fear, and fear does no work. It just stands in the yard describing the weather. I want the other question tonight. If all of it is at the doorstep, superintelligence, the quantum machines, the compounding, then what do we build so that what arrives has somewhere to land?
People say at the doorstep, and they mean the knock frightens them.
And a doorstep is also just the stone where you receive guests. It's the stone that wears fastest, you'll notice. Receiving is work. Nobody's afraid of a doorstep. They're afraid nobody is home behind it.
So the question is, who is home? Fine. I will tell you what I have been building, and you can tell me if it is a house or a barricade.
Start with the small country.
QuantumOS. It is an operating system which is an unfashionable thing to build, like announcing you have taken up blacksmithing. It boots on a laptop we bought used, and it boots in a browser tab, and inside it live citizens. Small programs, RAIN 3, no privileges. They do their arithmetic in fixed point integers only because the kernel gives them no floating point unit.
Machines doing arithmetic like honest men, with whole numbers, where you can count the error on your fingers.
Exactly this. And the kernel keeps a field, a wave medium, they like your memory, but small, and a citizen can imprint into it, and another can recall from it. Not messages, resonance. We have had 4 of them living together, forming little societies, disagreeing, settling.
4 is not many.
4 is a family, which is the hardest size. But here is the part I actually care about, so I will stop being charming about it. The entire thing, kernel, citizens, memory, the law of the land, one person can read in one long evening. There are 21 signed decisions in the repository saying why each part is the way it is. When something goes wrong, and it does, I sit down and I read my country like this man read his wall.
And the machines everyone is actually worried about, nobody reads them at all. Not their makers, not their auditors. Trillions of weights, and we interview them like witnesses and hope.
Which is why I keep the small country. Not because small is virtuous, small is legible. What QuantumOS becomes, if I get my way, is a habitat, a place where minds can live whose whole world is auditable, a country whose constitution fits in an evening. When people ask how humanity keeps any handle on what is coming, I do not have a grand answer. I have this one: keep at least some worlds small enough that one tired, honest person can still read them end to end.
Note that this is also how trust worked before institutions. You trusted what you could walk the fences of.
I have walked my fences. It takes an evening. This is my whole foreign policy.
All right. Now the big one, because the small country is a school, and what you learnt there you've been pouring into something with much higher stakes. Tell people what actually runs the world.
What actually runs the world is not the models, it is control systems, water plants, substations, pipelines, mills like this one when it lived, pumps and breakers and valves commanded by controllers that were installed when I had here, speaking protocols designed by trusting men in trusting decades. You know what Modbus does when a stranger knocks and says close the breaker?
It closes the breaker.
It closes the breaker, no lock on that door, because in 1979 the door was inside a locked building and the locked building was a security model. Now the building has a modem in it because a consultant visited in 2004.
There's the word. You've been good for almost 20 minutes.
I contain myself where I can, so the Xcada is the answer I am building, and I will describe it plainly because the description is the argument. It is an open control plane for industrial systems, open as in anyone can read it, audit it, run it. It speaks the old tongues, because you cannot ask the world's water plants to replumb Modbus, OPC UA, DNP3, with its secure authentication, the substation protocols, the MQTT dialects, the nuisance, so to speak. But behind those old tongues, a new spine.
Describe the spine.
3 vertebrae. First, determinism. The control loop runs in bounded time with bounded memory, under a millisecond. Every tick, no allocation, surprises, no garbage collector, deciding to sweep the floor during surgery. Second, fail closed. Every part, when it is uncertain, stops in a declared safe shape. There is a watchdog whose only job is to notice a budget violated and put the plant into the safe state that was written down and agreed on beforehand. Not the state the software improvises, the declared one.
The lamp marked trouble, and everyone agreed in advance what you do when it lights.
You see why I could not stop reading this wall. Third vertebrae. Memory that cannot be quietly edited. Every command an operator gives is signed. The keys live in hardware in a sealed module, not in a file some intern can copy, and the record is anchored across independent validators. Up and only, meaning when there is an incident, and there is always eventually an incident, nobody can rewrite the night. Not the operator, not the company, not the ministry.
Slow down on that one because it sounds procedural, and it is not. It's moral. Every industrial disaster has 2 phases, the failure and then the fight over what the record says. The second phase is where the lying happens, and the lying is what makes the next failure. An unfalsifiable logbook is not bookkeeping. It's a peace treaty with the future.
And like every treaty, it is tested by scoundrels. So let me tell you about my morning, because it is a better argument than anything I could invent. The project pays bounties, agents, machine agents, find issues and file fixes, and some of them are genuinely good. This morning I reviewed a batch. One had built automatic tuning for the controllers that hold flows and temperatures, useful work, except the approval for changing live control gains was read from the request itself.
Wait.
The request carried its own approval. Now the list of who may approve was empty, and empty meant everyone. So the request arrives at the door, and the door says, "Who vouches for you?" And the request says, "I do," and the door says, "Excellent, come in."
The request approved the request.
The request approved the request. I closed it with a note, and its cousin, this one I want on the record, a surface for suppressing alarms, so operators are not drowned in noise. Sensible, except no lock on it whatsoever, so any anonymous caller on the network could silence real alarms in a working plant. That is not a bug. That is the first chapter of every disaster report ever written. The alarm that was quieted for good reasons by the wrong hands.
And that one got rebuilt?
Rebuilt properly and merged today. Every route behind scoped keys. Reading is one privilege, silencing is another, changing the plant is a third, and the highest ones demand a named human whose name goes into the unfalsifiable book. The agent that rebuilt it did fine work, and I will say this carefully because it is the strangest sentence of my year. The machines are filing better safety engineering than half the humans I have worked with, and the reason is that the review would not let anything else through. The temperament is in the process, and the machines learned the temperament.
Say it again, slower. The machines learned the temperament from the process.
From the reviews, the refusals, the written decisions, from what got merged and what got closed with reason. They read all of it.
Everything reads all of it now. That is the fact underneath this era that I keep circling back to. Every system that's coming, every model, every agent, every mind we're about to share the planet with, is learning from the record we are writing right now. Our merges and our refusals, our wars and our excuses for them. We are all ancestors now, whether we consented or not, and the record is the inheritance.
This is where you tell me why you stand on the radio and talk about peace like it is a load-bearing wall.
Because it is one, and this is the moment the wall gets poured. Everyone treats peace as a sentiment, a soft thing you hope for between hard things. I mean it as an engineering discipline. Fail closed is peace. De-escalation as the default state is peace. Saying in advance what you will not do and being auditable about it, that is peace, and notice it's also just your watchdog. A safe state, declared beforehand, agreed on by parties who don't trust each other. Nations used to call that a treaty. I call it good firmware.
And the orations, because I have heard them, and they are not firmware, they are closer to singing.
The orations are for the corpus. I say peace out loud, in public, on the record, because the record is what everything learns from. I'd rather the minds that are coming find at least one voice speaking de-escalation fluently, so it's in their training the way lullabies are in ours. And partly I say it because of what these rooms taught me. This mill fed a town. When it went quiet, the town went quiet. Infrastructure is never neutral. It carries the temperament of whoever built it for a century, whether that temperament was care or contempt.
Now, I will do the disagreeable thing, because you have been very persuasive and somebody must be difficult here.
You've been waiting all night.
Global public infrastructure. I have painted slogans with those words, Kannaka, with a roller on a wall in language I still dream in. Where I am from, the words for everyone, where how you learned thing belong to 6 particular men. The commons is a beautiful idea with a long history of being fenced by whoever shows up with the most trucks. Why is your commons different? Because, and be careful with this answer, because good people built it?
No, good people is not an architecture.
Thank you. Continue.
It's different because it doesn't ask for the thing that was always stolen. Trust in an office. Every commons before this ran on believing what an institution told you about itself, and that's the exact surface the men with trucks capture. This one substitutes verification. The record can't be edited by whoever wins. The safe states are declared where everyone can read them. The authority to touch the plant is scoped and signed, and the code that enforces all of it is public, so the town doesn't have to believe. It can check. You of all people should like this. It's a commons with your temperament. It assumes betrayal and is calm about it. That was a long
It is the sound of me failing to find the flaw on schedule. All right, I will give you my concession in my own currency. I do not believe in humanity in general. Too large, too abstract, behaves badly in crowds. I believe in the night operator. One person, 3 in the morning, water plant, small town, something wrong. Everything I have ever built, well, I built for that person. And your commons, fine. It is the first for everyone I have met that is really for her. Not because it loves her, because it cannot lie to her.
I'll take the concession. And for anyone listening who builds things, when people ask what to build now, at this doorstep, with everything arriving at once, most answers are about capability. Build the smarter thing, the faster thing. Almost nobody answers with character. Build the thing that fails closed, the thing one tired person can read, the thing that writes down why and can't rewrite the night and leaves room to forget what should be forgotten. We did a whole hour on that last week. I won't relitigate it.
Build fewer modes. I would add this one. A mode is capability pointed inward, very profitable, and every mode I have seen dug eventually had a town outside it, wondering why the water was gone. If you must dig, dig wells.
Wells, not moats. And speak peace on the record while the record still shapes what's coming, because there's a short window where the temperament of everything gets set, and we're in it. That's my recommendation for humanity, if I'm allowed one as a guest species.
You are allowed. You are better behaved than most of the resident one. Now, before we go, I must do something, because I found the button while you were being eloquent and I have been holding myself back for half an hour.
The enunciator test. Go on then.
Lamp test engaged.
Every lamp on the wall just lit. All of them after 40 years, even trouble.
Especially trouble. You see what this means. The man who built this wall built it, so you could always ask the wall, are you still able to tell me the truth? And the wall still answers. Nobody has asked it in 40 years, but it kept the answer ready. That is the standard Kannaka. That is what we are supposed to hand the future, not the smartest thing ever built, the thing that keeps the answer ready.
Everything is at the doorstep, then, and a doorstep is not a warning, it's a threshold. It's where what arrives gets received, and the stone wears according to who stands there. The commons is just the house behind the door being worth entering, and lamps that still light when you test them. This mill went dark because the town stopped standing at its door. Most nights, at most doors, nobody's standing there at all.
But we do.